Turn it up. You're listening to the Country Music Rocks podcast with Danny and Julia. Your all-access pass to all your favorite artists, untold stories, and the real behind-the-scenes of country music.
Well, the moment has arrived. We're super excited about the 61st Annual Academy of Country Music Awards returning back to Las Vegas again.
Yes, I feel like that's where they belong.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And of course, I'm super excited. It's going to be Amazon Prime again.
Mm-hmm. So we all get to watch it at the same time.
Yes.
We're not watching it from time zones.
No.
Excuse me, there's no spoilers.
Nope. It's right from the get-go.
Yes, I think that's great.
And I'm super excited because it seems like when it's in Vegas, there's a lot more action in Vegas. Now, granted, I love Texas. I have lots of friends that live in Texas, but I never got a chance to go to the Moody Center, so I didn't know where everything was in retrospective.
Right.
But when it comes to being in Vegas, being there so many times and family
you have
and
an
friends
idea
there,
of where to go, how far it is, all that stuff.
There's lots of great things. Riley Green's doing his golf tournament thing.
Top Golf, which looks super cool.
Which is really fun because I know everybody loves to golf.
Yep.
We've talked about this a couple weeks ago on the podcast about the Masters.
And and especially now, I think everybody's pumped because the Masters just finished.
Yeah. And so it was really cool. So it was one of those scenes like a couple years ago we went when I got nominated. It was fun because like all of a sudden Kane Brown just came out of nowhere. And then Cassie Ashton was there. And then Restless Road was there. Like all of a sudden these people just started showing up.
Right.
And it could be another one of those moments at Topgolf like, oh my gosh, we need security now.
Exactly. You don't know who's going to show up. Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool coming up on Amazon Prime May 17th.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that it could be just like one of those overnighters real quick to Vegas.
I mean, that would be easy to do.
It's not far.
It's close.
It's 2 hours. And I know Southwest is always, trying to get you down there.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's worth $100.
Again, this is our year of manifesting things, so you never know. We may end up in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So, So I'm excited because the nominations came out, and there's a lot of great nominations.
There is. There's a lot to unpack with these nominations.
Boy, there really is. Yeah. I agree with some of them. Some of them I don't. But there was a lot of snubs, and I'm not going to lie. There is a lot of upset people.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Very much so. I guess let's just get into it because, there was just so much. I don't know. I feel like there was more. I almost want to say there was more misses than anything.
That's a great line. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that should be on the nomination list aren't, and people that shouldn't be on there are. Let's just go digging right into it.
But speaking of misses,
right?
We'll start with Female Artist of the Year. First of all, I mean, women kind of dominated all the nominations.
Yes.
Which, in hindsight, that is so great to see because I feel like women they've needed that.
Sure.
Especially women in country. We've had so many years where it was just so male dominated.
Yes.
So it is kind of nice to see this spin on things with kind of females getting the notoriety they deserve.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard the nomination list already, Megan Maroney is leading with 9 nominations this year.
Which is,
crazy.
That's a lot. It's
Miranda
crazy.
Lambert's got 8. Ella Langley's got 7.
Yep.
Lainey Wilson's got like 6 or 7 in there.
Yep.
It's the year of the female for the ACM,
it really
which is cool. It's cool.
Yep.
So let's dig in. Let's go. Female Artist of the Year.
Yeah, so there's Kelsey Ballerini, Miranda Lambert, Ella Langley, Megan Maroney, and Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into the I don't want to who I'm going to pick just yet.
Not yet, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to look at it because I agree on some of it. I don't agree with all of it. It's a strong list of the ladies.
I do feel like this list is very strong. I feel like this one was good.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You may have a different opinion. I feel like this one they got right.
Sure. Well represented.
Yes.
And we know for the past few years it's been Lainey. Before that it was Carrie and Miranda.
Exactly.
Before that it was, it could have been anybody. But for a long time it was Carrie and Miranda.
Yeah.
And I feel like Lainey for the last couple of years has taken the charge, but I'm not really agreeing.
Competition.
Yeah, there's some tough competition this year.
This one's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, for sure, especially since Kelsey's in there because I haven't seen Kelsey in a lot of stuff.
She's been a little quiet this year.
Yeah.
Well, even towards the end of last year. She's been pretty quiet, but I know it goes, and I think it is. I should have looked it up. It's not necessarily calendar year. I can't remember when the year starts for when you are able to get nominated.
Right.
So, but still, she's been quiet as of late.
Right. As it like March, so instead of a fiscal year when everyone puts their budgets together in July and then October you got to be done.
Right.
This is a completely different thing. I think these run from March through December.
I think you
how it works.
Yeah, you might be right.
Because when we put together the package that we have to submit for ACM nominations for radio, they have to be done at a certain timeline.
Yeah.
Between December 31st of one year through March of the following year. So they give us a whole like a year and 4 months to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So it's in that timeline. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Great category, though.
I think this one's a good category. I think it's well represented. There's no, I don't know. I don't know. Is there any you would want to see on this one that you think kind of?
No, not on this one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think so on this one.
Gabby Barrett would be maybe the only female that I would put in there, but she hasn't really done anything.
Yeah.
She, I mean, hey, more power to her. Her and Cade went and did the family thing, had their kids. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think she needs to get back into it, though, if she's going to continue, because she was on a roll.
Right.
And
the momentum is kind of.
Yeah, it's taking its turn to the left. So I'd like to see her get back. I don't know if she wants to continue to do what she was doing.
Right.
I haven't heard a lot from her or her team, so I don't know. But I'd like to see her on that list. I think she'd give them all a good run for her money.
Actually, there is one, and I know you'll agree with it. Ashley McBride.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen her on this list.
Yeah. She was kind of quiet the last year as well.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it's just been recent that she's been out there, she's got a new single out, album coming up. So I guess it is a little bit more recent.
And that's going to fall in that timeline again where we're like, what happened?
And I think that's what's tough because we're all in the now.
Right.
So we're thinking of the things in the now versus things that maybe they were doing at the beginning when this opening enrollment, or not enrollment, but this opening period for nominations started. Yeah. So it is kind of hard because you got to go back and trigger your memory.
Yeah, could be. Okay, so let's jump to male artist of the year. I don't have any issues with this one as well as you would say. I think these are all great category guys. There's one in there, though, I'm like, every time his name comes up, it's just one of those like, okay, this could probably be his. Male artist of the year for the 61st Annual Academy of Country Music Awards. This year's nominees are Luke Combs, Riley Green, Cody Johnson, Chris Stapleton, and Zach Top. Zach, I think it's fantastic. He came in like Ella kicked the door open and said, I'm here. Yeah. It made some noise. Same for Luke. Luke has really kind of been ready for this new tour, but he put the new album out on 420, which was cool. So it's one of those things. Riley and Cody been working hard.
They really have.
Chris hasn't really done anything since I don't know when. I don't remember the last single he put out. I do actually. It was with him and Miranda.
Oh yes,
it was the duet.
Yes, yep.
Which is fine, but again, it's just Stapleton's one of those guys when it comes to male vocalists of the year. There's going to be an argument. I don't see Morgan Wallen on there, but Morgan just restarted his new tour, and I don't see Hardy on there.
Yeah.
So
I don't see Thomas Rhett on there.
Nope.
I don't see Kane Brown on there.
Nope. Jason Aldean.
Luke Bryan. So that's the thing. It's like those guys, I feel like, are just to the grind. Their tours every year. I feel like they're consistently coming out with music.
Yes.
Zach Top, I think, is, again, fantastic. He's so, I almost feel like originally, like when these first started, you had to work to get to these, to get nominated.
Yes.
So I feel like, man, Zach's already getting nominated versus some of these guys they went through the ringer before they finally got their nomination. Same with some of the females. But again, not to say that it's not deserved. It's 100% deserved. It's just, it came so quick,
right?
Versus some others where they put in years.
And again, these shows are you have to be a member.
Yes.
So it's not like a fan vote. It's totally different.
Yes.
So, at the time that all this was hot, Zach was at the top of the list. Zach was touring, so he's fresh on everyone's mind.
Yes.
People weren't thinking about the Jason Aldean or the Luke Bryan because they knew that Luke was off doing American Idol or some other stuff. Jason's been consistent last couple of years, got a couple hits now all of a sudden. But you're right. It's like they used to have to work for it. Now I think it's just one of those things like, oh, he's my guy. I'm going to put him down the list. And if he makes it, great.
Yeah. I'm not saying I'm not mad seeing his name on there. I'm thrilled for him. It's just different because there's so many others that I would have loved to also have seen on this list.
Another Keith Urban.
Yeah.
Same one.
Keith Urban, you know? Yeah,
same
exactly.
thing.
So
yeah, working hard.
Yeah.
The next one though is really where I think some people are kind of losing their mind.
Yep.
When we talk about the snubs and everything else that comes with it, there's a couple groups on here that for some reason never make the list, and we just shake our heads and go, don't understand why, because they're like so cool. So I'll let you read this one.
So 49 Winchester.
Okay.
Flatland Cavalry.
Yep.
Old Dominion.
Yep.
Rascal Flats and Bread Clay Strays.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know anything about 49 Winchester or Flatland Cavalry. I've seen a lot of their stuff through the socials. I haven't taken the time to listen to the music. I really haven't. I need to. Old Dominion.
Right.
I mean, not going to lie, my second favorite next to Rascal Flats. The Boys of Flats are coming back because of the tour, but the Red Clay Strays are in there because they were making some noise, and the new group of the year at the CMAs.
Right.
Different story. But the people we're not seen on this list. Zach Brown Band.
Yep.
Parmalee. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Parmalee. Like, really?
I know. They're like the Susan Lucci.
Yeah. Like, what is going on? Like, some of the hardest workers who are consistent.
They've had 3 number ones since then.
Like, literally, what's it take to,
Low Cash.
Well, that would be duo, so we'll get there. But yeah. It's just crazy. So it's interesting when I saw 49 Winchester, because last year when I was in Nashville for a couple of days before CMA Fest, we were at some, it was an outdoor, it was Whiskey Jam, actually.
Okay.
And they had a bunch of bands, and I didn't recognize really many of the names on there, but Warren Zeiders he was on there, and he was closing it out. So I was like, oh, I want to go catch his set. 49 Winchester was on maybe right before him or 2 before him. The amount of people that were there in 49 Winchester shirts and hats and knowing all their music. I mean, they have a following. I was shocked.
Massive following.
I had no idea who they were.
Social media.
But I think they just recently got signed, or they may have been signed then, but it's just now.
Catching up.
Yeah, because I think they're with Universal, one of the tiers. I think maybe MCA. Not exactly sure. I think. Don't even quote me on that. But they have a following. Flatland Cavalry, I'm not familiar with them at all. Flatland Cavalry.
Either. No, and it's great because this gives me a chance to go read the book that I got from them that kind of gives us a little insight. They kind of give us like the history of the band, where they came from, who they're with, and then it tells you what they're up for. So it's kind of a cool thing. But I have not had that chance to go see them. So I do want to go listen to music. Maybe I'm missing out on something. I probably am. But it's hard when I look at Old Dominion and Rascal Flats. I'm like, well, those are my guys.
Yeah, exactly. But I was really, really bummed that Parmalee wasn't on there.
Yeah.
I just
definitely.
I just feel like, again, I mean, they probably tour 360 days out of the year.
They're always going.
Consistently putting music out, constantly active on socials and with fans. And I mean, just giving it 150%.
That was one of the snubs that I had seen, and it said when this first landed, I was kind of like, okay, I'll go through the list, and then all of a sudden, like, what were they saying? Instead of like no King's Day, it was like no Parmalee. What?
Yeah,
it was one of those situations. So because they are great guys, and they're especially good friends of radio and influencers and stuff. They're always willing to work with us. And
they really are.
They're really cool people, and unfortunately, they just did not make this list. So. It's a bummer. And I think that they should.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised and bummed with that one.
Yeah, and also I want to reiterate that nothing against programming of radio stations. There's some great programmers out there. And when it comes to the people that are members of the CMAs, a lot of them are programmers and music directors and stuff. Like we tend to forget because there's so much music being thrown at us. Like, oh, shoot. So maybe it was too late, or maybe it just didn't make the cut. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can next year we really seriously have to look at that. Because if they're going to continue to keep putting out great music and consistent number one songs, that has to be a situation like, okay, are they just black flagged? People doesn't like them? If that's the case, I want to know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Instead of like, don't get your hopes up.
Like at least make it make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
And nothing against these groups.
No, again, nothing against them. Yeah. It's just more of back to when you had to, I don't want to say you had to work for it to get nominated, but I don't know. Like again, like we didn't know. At least we're not familiar with 2. I'm not as familiar with Red Clay Strays.
Right.
So there's 3 bands on here that I'm not super familiar with.
Right. And you're like,
Yeah.
And it could be, again, it's a changing of the guards.
Yeah,
like
you're
we're
probably
all
right.
so,
Yeah.
like I said this before, that for years it was always Brooks and Dunn as the duo. Then it was the Judds. And then, it just kind of worked its way up. And then now it's changing and we're like, man, music's being changed so often and so fast that we're seeing it that way. So it's kind of interesting to see it that way.
Duo of the year. So speaking of Brooks and Dunn, they were nominated. Brothers Osborne, Dan and Shay,
Muscadine
Bloodline, and Thelma and James.
Yeah, Thelma and James, a new group.
Yes.
But it's Mackenzie Porter.
Yep.
I think it's Mackenzie Porter that's in that. And I don't know who the James is, if it's a friend or family member. I'm not sure. Muscadine Bloodline, I've heard of them.
I've heard of them as well.
I've heard samples of the music. I've never actually just got a chance to sit down and listen to the whole thing myself.
Right.
So I need to check that out. But boy, perfect timing for Dan and Shay dropping some new music, on us. Yep. And I don't know if they got the heads up.
Maybe. I don't know.
Timed that more perfect.
Timing was definitely on their side for this.
Yeah, for sure. And
they've been quiet. Brothers Osborne's been super quiet.
Yep.
Brooks, again, where is Locash?
Yeah, Locash. They've been out working hard.
So again, another one, 360 days out of the year, pretty much. They're on the road, new music. I mean, fans love them. The energy that they deliver is incredible.
Yep.
I was really, again, disappointed. I mean, again, they're all great. Love Brooks and Dunn. I mean, they're icons. They're absolutely amazing. But also, are they putting out anything new?
No.
They're basically just doing their greatest hits, which, hey, that is amazing.
Right. Well, look at Garth.
Exactly.
Garth has repackaged his greatest hits 10 times.
I mean, they're at a point in their career, they don't need to even really release new music if they don't want to.
No.
They have such an amazing catalog that they can, they're on tour with Morgan Wallen. So, I mean, but at the same time, part of this, I feel like should be, you're putting out new stuff. I don't know. I was disappointed with these 2 categories.
Yeah, and when you just said icon, I think we could do like an icon award, right?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe put some of these people in there for that. Yeah, like Rascal Flatts could be perfect for that.
Right.
Brooks and Dunn.
Right. You could do
Chris Stapleton. You know, you can take some of these people out of some of these other categories and put into one of their own.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could even put in like Winona's touring again this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So, she's touring with Melissa Etheridge. So it could be one of those things where it's an icon award. It could be, or Shania Twain. She's back in Vegas touring. So yeah, it's one of those, I know it's really a bummer. And I don't want to mention names of friends in radio, but they're like, some of them were clearly upset that they didn't see Chris and Preston from Locash on this, along with Parmalee, and it was one of those things I was like, because those guys really have been hammering.
I feel like those were the 2 that people were really like, whoa.
And Kane Brown too.
Kane as well. And then I saw a lot on Thomas too. So I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of upsets.
It's been an interesting year, and of course it falls back again on us as voters.
Yes,
and who we can
100%,
nominate.
100%.
And all the ones that I did, I mean, yes, a couple of them made it, but the rest didn't. I was like, man, okay, I guess maybe I'm missing a picture and I just don't know it.
But that's also interesting too, because when you have fan voted awards, again, that can go either way as well, because some of these artists have such a fierce and large fan base.
Ian Munsick.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw that show here at downtown back in February at the Roseland, literally every phone was up and everybody was singing word for word. And I was thinking to myself, I've seen Ian twice.
Yeah.
But same thing, like you said, when everybody was there for the group, the Winchester 49, I was looking around that room going, wow.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe it. It was,
It is pretty incredible, because it's kind of like, how do they know?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'm like, I didn't even know. How did they know?
Yeah.
It's
an interesting thing, because like I'll use my daughter Alexis for example. Like she's said to me, have you heard this group? Have you heard this group? Because she's always on Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok and stuff. And I try to get on there as much as I can. But of course, with doing radio and this on the side, we're already like digging into everything we possibly can.
Exactly.
So to find new stuff, it's like, wow, it's kind of difficult. So that was it's interesting to see this year.
Yeah.
All right, new female artist of the year is Avriana. I've seen her in Nashville. She was super cool. She's really talented, loves to play the keyboards. She's great. Mackenzie Carpenter, very cute, very, very personable. She's out on the road now. Dasha obviously made a big splash
She did.
a year ago. She's now doing line dancing. She's doing more music. She's doing a little bit of a change to herself, which is actually cool. Caroline Jones, who was Caroline Jones by herself for a long time, and then she joined Zach Brown's band. So she's the only female in the band,
which is pretty cool.
Which is really cool.
That is cool.
And then of course Emily Ann Roberts, all those new female artists. I didn't see Ella. But Ella's to me is still new.
Yes.
What I don't see on here is a Mae Estes.
I was thinking of her. I was thinking of Elena Springsteen. I was thinking of her.
There's a few of them in there.
You
know, it's interesting. It's going to be, it's one of those things like it's a changing of the guards. We're not used to seeing those. So at this point, like a new female artist of the year, to me, seeing Ella already in female artist of the year.
Exactly. Like I feel like there used to be that stepping stone.
Right.
Like you were here first.
Right.
Like, and I think Ella was probably nominated last year, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're almost skipping some of these categories and going straight for the big ones.
Right. Just because, because she's so popular right now. I mean.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not well-deserved because, again, I feel like that category they did get right.
Yeah.
And she was probably nominated last year. I mean, she may have even won last year. I don't remember who won
I don't remember either. I'll have to go back and look at the list that we have and we can find out. But it's a great list. All great artists. I've seen Caroline Jones perform. I've seen Dasha perform and I've seen Avriana perform. So as far as Mackenzie Carpenter, I've just only seen the videos of her, of what she's doing. And then Emily Ann Roberts, I've seen her in a lot of posts and stuff around Nashville.
I'm not super familiar with her yet.
They'll make us learn a lot about her, which is cool in the coming months, which is awesome. So that's another great category to keep an eye on. I already have my favorite that I think will probably end up walking away with that category. But I'm going to go do some investigation myself. Just kind of dig into it.
And then we have new male artists of the year. So Gavin Adcock, Vincent Mason, Shabuzi, Hudson Westbrook, and Tucker Wetmore.
Great lineup. Great lineup. And I can't think of anybody else that's missing on that list off the top of my head that's super fast.
No, I think, and he probably wouldn't even be new male artist at this point in his career. Drew Baldridge. It would have been nice to have seen him nominated somewhere.
Yes.
But again, I don't know. It might have missed the new
opportunity.
Male part, which is kind of a bummer. But again,
it does.
I have to go back and look at the criteria for that because I think it's just a matter of. Well, no, I think it has to do with
single out between a certain time.
It's still timing.
Right.
So
when somebody's daughter, right, was there.
There was that. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been like he just missed the cutoff.
Maybe just missed it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
But all great artists. Vincent Mason got a new hit out. Shabuzi. I mean, since every time I hear his name, I think of the performance that he put on at the CMA Music Fest like a year and a half ago or 2 years now with Jelly Roll, and then he's all over. This year he was at the Academy Awards. He was representing singing, and he's been doing so much. So good for him. Hudson Westbrook really making a name, big time.
He really is.
But
Tucker, of course.
We're gonna obviously. I'm not gonna lie. Tucker's my guy.
Well,
he's a hometown guy. I'd love to see him get it, and he has had some serious momentum.
He really. I mean, he has.
Right.
He's just been full throttle, just going for it, and I agree. I feel like this might be his year.
Yeah, it could be his year, and hopefully it is. And if it is, hang on because it's going to get crazy for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's going to be. He already goes 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and there's I don't know if you heard this or not, and I'm just speculating. I love rumors.
You love the tea?
I love the tea, but like him and Ella Langley, okay, I'm on board.
Okay,
right?
Yeah,
like
they would be cute.
They would be really cute
Very
together.
cute.
Like Yeah, I'm all about it.
Yep.
I'm all about it.
So
So
he's looking for a brunette.
right.
So,
Well, there's that, and then now he's got this new song, and it kind of hints that he was on a beach and he met this girl, and it fits her description.
Yep.
And
Yep.
but then I listened to Dandelion, which is an amazing album.
That was
So
my
good.
soundtrack all weekend. I
Oh my
listened
God.
to it a couple of times.
So good. I listened to it over the weekend as well because I was driving to and from all over the place. And I was like, okay, I knew it landed last night, but I didn't stay up late enough to download it. So I downloaded the next morning, and I listened, and it was fantastic.
She's
so good.
She's something special.
Yeah,
she really is.
One of my favorite songs on there. I mean, obviously, I love "Be Her" and "Choosing Texas." Dandelion, I like, but the duet with her and Miranda Lambert,
It's so good,
so good. "Bottom of My Boots" is really good, and then I also says "We Gotta Quit" or "I Gotta Quit" is the one song.
I think it's "We Gotta Quit."
Yeah. I mean, the 70s vibe. Oh my God, it gave me goosebumps. I got goosebumps now just talking about it. It was so good.
She's just, again, she's incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like even like with her, and not to totally get off track, but like when she first came out with her duet with Riley and they were kind of like talking through like that part of the song.
Yep.
And now we're hearing her actually like just sing. And I didn't spend a whole ton of time on her debut album. So like this, and now I want to go back and like really listen to that album.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I love Dandelion, but she's still telling a story.
Right.
Like she's probably one of the greatest ones right now.
And she co-wrote every one of those songs.
She co-wrote them all. And then but the way she delivers every word on these tracks, she's truly telling a story, whether she's talking it out or singing it out. It's just incredible.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't downloaded the album or heard the album,
you've got to.
You've got to. It's got the 70s vibe. I don't know what I'm doing lately, but I've been into this very traditional, like I'm going to admit it. I love Tucker. I love Tucker Wetmore. I love the Marshall Tucker Band.
Okay.
And I love that kind of vibe of music. I'm drawn on not Americana, but like I just dig that whole thing, and I'm really into the yacht rock again. It's that time of year I start to feel good. I get into it.
So is Keith Urban.
Yeah, I know he's got a new album coming out, and I cannot wait to hear it.
Yes.
But the cool thing is like this gave me all that.
Yeah.
So when I heard, I was like, okay. I love Ella Langley. I need to get me in. I'm an Ella fella.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. There you go. Before we get into the album and single, there was a couple other artists that I thought of that I didn't see any Russell, which I kind of thought he would be nominated for something.
But where would he fall again?
I know,
in
and
that
that's
category?
what as I was thinking about that, I'm like, I feel like there needs to be another category. I don't know what we would call it, but like, where's Russell? Where's Bailey? Maybe we need one like for energy.
Yeah.
Because like both of those guys. But I was kind of surprised there was no Russell and no Bailey.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing. Like, do they fall in that category of like they missed the deadline?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But you're right.
I know Russell was nominated for ACM New Male Artist of the Year. He's been nominated before.
Yeah.
And Bailey may have as well. I was just kind of sad to not see their names somewhere on the list. But again, it's kind of like where would it be? I mean, but they've also had great songs, you know?
They do. Yeah.
So it could have been from one of the songs.
Could have been.
You know? Happened to me. I would have loved to have seen nominated, and Bailey's got some great stuff out.
Yep.
But
yeah, I know. It's just one of those situations. Like
I know.
It's kind of out of our reach, but we can argue all day long on it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so album of the year.
Album of the year: Zach Top, "Ain't in It for My Health." Carter Faith, "Cherry Valley." Riley Green, "Don't Mind If I Do." Morgan Wallen, "On the Problem," and Parker McCollum. So there's 4 there that I am clearly aware of. The Zach Top, Riley, Morgan, and Parker. Carter Faith, still fairly new to me.
Yes.
I think that's one of those moments, like maybe just the timing was right. People were following in place for that. I don't know if that's really the album of the year. Like Dandelion just came out, so that's not going to last.
No.
You know, I don't see Megan's album in there.
I know. That's actually kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
Very surprising
or
to
Laney's.
me. Or Laney.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like this one, a couple misses.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
No.
I will say I'm a little excited for Parker only because I heard in an interview where he was like, he made that, and when I saw him in, where was I? Austin for a Raising Cane's event we did with him, and he was talking about his new album, and he was like, I did this album for me. He wanted to get back to, because he has I don't know how many albums out already. I think this was his 5th, but he kind of felt like he was losing
momentum.
Kind of like he wasn't putting out what he really wanted to put out, or kind of what, like, he was putting out what was it for the time.
Gotcha.
So he wanted to kind of get back to himself, and that's why this is a self-titled album.
Right.
And he even said, he's like, you know what, I know the streaming numbers aren't probably what they could be,
right.
but now to get nominated was pretty incredible. And when Cody Allen called him, I don't know if you saw the video, you could definitely tell.
I did see that.
Yeah, he was pretty touched by it.
I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw snippets of him and Cody talking.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a baseball hat on, so it threw me off.
Because he was working out in the gym, and Cody called him.
Yes.
And it was just really kind of cool, because I feel like he felt people appreciated what he was actually putting out there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's another one of those situations, like when you first get signed to a label, you check in with your label and be like, here's the 4 songs that I put together that I think would be really good. And then they all go and decide, we don't necessarily like that one. We want to maybe go to this one instead.
Right.
That's happened before.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be one of those situations like he's like, this is what I'm putting out. This is what you're getting. Because I've heard that through Brothers Osborne as well. They're like,
they kind of have to take control at some point.
They're artists. Yeah. They do what they do best, right?
Yep.
But sometimes they don't always listen to the right people.
Right.
And that's where arguments happen. A lot of times people are like, no, I want to go this way. No, I'm going to go this way. And then that's when artists separate from family and go from there. So good for him. Congratulations to Parker. Way to go.
Yeah.
Song of the Year. This is an interesting one. This is awarded to the songwriters, publishers, and artists. And I think this is cool. This is the one we were talking about earlier. A Song to Sing with Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton. I really enjoy that one. Megan Maroney, Am I Okay? Choosing Texas, Ella Langley, Zach Top, I Never Lie, and Lainey Wilson, Somewhere Over Laredo. When I look at that list, I'm like, man, I know every song.
Yep.
I love every song.
Like, this is a list.
Right. Yeah, this is a great list.
Yes.
Like, everyone hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yes, I think this is a good one. Would I have loved to have seen happen to me in there? Sure, because I think that was, or maybe that could have been single of the year.
Sure.
But yeah, I think this is a great list.
Yeah. And again, this is going to be another one of those categories. It's really tough. And it's going to come down to the very last second, like who walks away with it, because
it's anybody's award at this point.
It is, right. Because Miranda and Chris, obviously everyone's favorites. Ella, like, you can't stop her. She's been on a runaway train. Megan's still doing her thing.
Yep.
And then Zach, like, everyone's loving the guy.
Yep.
And Lainey, who's been representing for Lord knows how long now, right?
Yeah.
She's the same thing. I think her and Ella were on that same train track, just side by side.
And I think they're nominated both. I think they both have 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're neck
doing
and neck.
Really well. Do you have one in there that you see that you maybe like, that you think is the best as a runaway?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
there's probably 2 that I'm kind of like, it's going to be when I have to submit my ballot by Monday.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I think I'm going to close my eyes and just be like,
click
okay,
away.
because that one's going to be a tough one.
I know,
honestly.
It really is. I'm going to be the same as you. I'm just going to be like, oh, okay, what did I picture myself last summer driving around? What did I hear the most of? It's going to be one of those moments. So I kind of feeling I know which one I want to go with to vote for. We'll see what happens, who it comes out to be. So all right, single of the year.
So 6 months later, Megan Maroney, Choosing Texas, Ella Langley, I Never Lie, Zach Top, Somewhere Over Laredo, Lainey Wilson, and The Fall, Cody Johnson.
Yeah, again, it's almost like a song of the year and single of the year, which is a weird.
It really,
when you look at, like, they're almost exactly the same.
Exactly. The
only thing you're missing is Chris and Miranda.
Yeah.
And you're replacing it with Cody.
So it's kind of like, so is this where there's room for other people? So maybe the single of the year is
good point.
Song, and I get it. Maybe they should all be going to the songwriter and publishers. In addition to single, because those just go to the artist.
Right.
I just kind of feel like these 2 are kind of a monotonous category.
And going back to what we said earlier about Drew, and that could have been single of the year, right? Like, everybody in country music and everybody was rooting for Drew to get that very first number 1 with Somebody's Daughter. And it finally could have been there. One of those songs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same for Russell.
Same with Russell. Happened to me. I mean, that was the song of the summer last year. It's still the song. Like,
definitely.
So I feel like this category here could use some work. Not saying I don't love all these songs, because I do, but I feel like we just saw them all right here.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I'm with you 100%. It seems weird, And I don't know the exact criteria of single of the year, so I have to go back and look as well when I go to choose. But like Cody Johnson, The Fall, it's just I love that song. It's I have an image in my head of that video of what it looks like, and it's so good.
Yeah,
such a great song. But they're all good.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Music event of the year.
So these are always some collabs.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah,
and
they're always fun.
But there's always one that throws me off, and there's one in here I'm just like, okay, whatever, that's cool. Music event of the year is A Song to Sing, Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton. Have you seen that video, by the way, of them two singing?
I have not.
He's wearing like a polyester suit. It's like a new version of Kenny and Dolly.
Okay.
To me, but their voices, it's like butter. They just merge, man. It's so good.
Is she portraying Dolly in any way, shape, or form?
No, not at all. Okay. But she's wearing a cowboy hat. She's going through her lifestyle changes.
She is.
We've seen a lot of different changes of Miranda
Lambert. We've seen the really
Lambert.
edgy, the really kind of, you know, that vibe. But you're right. She's kind of now into her, I don't want to say cowgirl phase, because I mean, she's definitely a cowgirl through and through, but I think she's to her roots.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. She is all about Texas. Let me tell you. And good for her.
Not Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, that's true. Shabuzi, Jelly Roll, Amen. And I think about the CMA Fest that we watched that one time when they sang that together. So that sticks in my head. I don't know why, but I relate so much to videos. Is because I feel like I learn the music a little bit better through the videos. I don't know why.
Maybe because you're watching and it's just kind of, I don't know, you're more focused.
Yeah, I learn more from that way is just to listen to it, because sometimes I'm always
you're listening, you're looking at something else, maybe.
You're driving.
So your mind, it's just, I don't want to say noise, but it's just on.
When I was a kid, I loved vinyl records, still have vinyl records to this day. But I think a lot of people relate to this. Growing up, even in cassette tapes, that's how we learned the music.
Yes.
Like the lyrics were written on so you could learn it all, which was fantastic.
Yep.
That's why I think I love the videos so much. And I'm sad to see that CMT and those guys don't do the videos like they used to.
I know.
I think they should. Don't Mind If I Do, Riley Green and Ella Langley. The one that threw me, I mean, good for her. She got another nomination. Reba, Miranda, and Lainey with Trailblazer. I mean,
not familiar with it.
No, I mean, I've seen the video. I saw when they performed it at the CMAs, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
You Had to Be There, Megan Maroney and Kenny Chesney. Another one I just don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're really good friends.
Yeah.
They're trying to help one another out, and she just came out in Tortuga.
Yep.
And she opened with him and sang with him. So, I mean, cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. They've got that kind of a relationship. But another one, I was kind of like...
I just feel like there's been so many collabs that, they're...
Yeah. Where was the Bailey and Luke?
Right.
Right?
Right. Exactly. That could have been where Bailey got in here.
Right. That could have easily been in there.
I mean, Thomas Rhett, he did collabs.
Where was the one with Morgan Wallen, Hardy, Tim McGraw?
That one may have missed the cutoff, though.
I think you're right. Maybe next year.
Yeah, that one probably missed the cutoff.
Because I was like, why did it not? So maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
But ACMs, CMAs, you guys are listening. Please make it happen. Just make it happen.
Yes.
Give it a performance, because you know everyone wants to see it for sure.
I kind of feel like we're going to see that.
I really hope so, but I was like, where's MacArthur on this list? I don't see it anywhere. It's kind of bumming.
I have a feeling they'll perform it at the awards, maybe.
Yeah. I would like to think so.
I feel like it's either going to be performed there for the first time or CMA Fest.
It has to be.
You know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So those are like the two biggest things coming up right now. I was like, is Stagecoach, but not a lot of them are performing at Stagecoach. No. So I think that those are the two opportunities.
I think they would save it for something completely different.
Exactly. Yeah. Agreed.
This is a new one this year.
Visual media. Is this the same as video of the year?
I don't know. I don't understand. I'll have to go back and read the criteria on it, because I'm not sure. And what the book that they give to us that says, who it goes to and what it is, I think it could be like for socials. Or YouTube or something like that. Megan Maroney, 6 months later. A Song to Sing, Miranda Lambert and Chris Stapleton. Cuckoo, Stephen Wilson Jr. I don't know that song at all. I
heard it once when he played it live when I saw him.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody else seemed to know it because, again, everybody knew his stuff, but I felt like, but me.
By the way, he's coming back to town.
I saw that.
He'll be in Forest Grove at Grand McMinimum's Grand Lodge in September. Yeah.
We need to go.
We're going to go. We're going. Lainey Wilson, Somewhere Over Laredo. And then in the fall, Cody Johnson. If I had to say YouTube views, I see them. I just don't see the Steven Wilson Jr. in my head.
Right.
But I know all the rest because I've watched them. But I just don't know that one. But I would still like to go back and read on that one because I don't know if it's for the producer, for the artist and the producer. I'm not sure. Okay, next one.
Artist Songwriter of the Year.
Yeah.
Luke Combs, Riley Green, Ella Langley, Megan Maroney, Morgan Wallen.
Again, another strong category.
But
Songwriter of the Year.
Where the hell is Hardy?
I know, right? And like he doesn't have anything.
Honestly,
A few of my favorite country songs.
Yeah.
MacArthur again could have fallen that day.
But
He's still a
writes
writer.
for so many others.
Yeah.
That just kind of blew me away.
Yeah. When I first saw that, I was like, okay, here's another snub. Like we're missing people.
Yeah.
You know, easily him.
Again, all these artists for songwriters, amazing.
Right.
Super strong. Like I don't disagree with them.
Right.
I just feel like Hardy needed to be in there.
The other thing that I don't know on this list, and we'll have to investigate just a little bit, is this a Songwriter of the Year for just a track or for all the tracks? Because like looking at Ella, she wrote every song on Dandelion. Morgan, I don't think wrote every song on that album.
Right.
But I think he probably wrote 16 of the 20 or whatever's on that album. Because Hardy wrote some of them with Ernest, another writer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Where's Ernest?
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, I think Hardy won last year.
Okay.
This category. So this may be one. I don't know. We need to look. Like it's kind of like CRS every other year. But if that's the case, it should be like that for several other categories.
Of course.
So that to me says that's not probably the rule here.
Yeah.
So again, my question: where's Hardy?
Yeah, where's Hardy?
Yeah.
And Ernest. Now that I mentioned
Ernest, yeah, I was thinking of him earlier today. I heard one of his songs, and I'm a little bummed that they're not on here.
Yeah, and of course. The big one that we're always waiting for and looking at is the Entertainer of the Year. This is where it gets interesting because I feel like this year
is a large list.
It's way bigger.
It's a lot bigger. It's usually 5.
Right. Now there's 2 ladies. So I'll go and you go, okay? Entertainer of the Year. Luke Combs.
Jelly Roll.
Cody Johnson.
Megan Maroney.
Chris Stapleton.
Morgan Wallen.
And Lainey Wilson. Now, looking at this list, again, Luke's just now coming on the road, so I don't think it's him. Jelly Roll, maybe, but he just came off the tour with Posty.
Yeah, but again, we got to remember the time frame.
Right. So when did this come into play? Cody Johnson.
He's been on tour a lot.
He has, and not to mention that he had the biggest show this year at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo Show. Sold out more than George Strait. So
which is
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I wonder if he feels bad about that.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because it's almost like, man,
took something away from the king.
Yeah, I would almost be like, no, I don't want it. Take it back.
But on the other hand, you're like, give it to me. I want it.
Exactly.
Right? I could have that.
Yeah.
Megan Maroney.
This is back to these artists. Like, how are they already getting a nomination for the most prestigious category?
Right.
Out of all of them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, again, Megan, fantastic. But.
I don't think she's ready for Entertainer of the Year.
Like, and again, I don't know how to say it, but like, I don't know. You got to work for it. You know what I mean? And not to say she's not busting her butt out there. She's, again, touring. She's doing a ton of stuff. And
but maybe in like next year.
But already, Entertainer of the Year is my question. You know, like that is where I kind of struggle.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Ella's not even on here.
No, and she might have been at that point where she had just landed in the right time. Maybe it was somebody's. She's been, like you said, she's been doing Kane. She's been doing a radio tour. She's been doing so many things. It could have just been one of those moments like they just checked her off the list. Like, okay, she made the category. Yeah. Whatever.
And it's an industry. Nomination. So again, I mean, she's got a lot of people behind her in the industry,
right? And
clearly,
and I think everyone looks at it a different way too, because like when you say Entertainer of the Year, well, like the entertainer, like Chris didn't really entertain last year,
right? He
was on 4 shows with George Strait, Little Big Town,
yeah.
So for me to say that's the Entertainer of the Year, that's not the entertainer for me.
And they all entertain differently,
right?
So kind of like we talked about CMAs, I almost don't even like this category because a lot of these people, they don't entertain the same.
No.
But they all entertain great.
Right.
They're all fantastic.
Right.
But it's like, when I think of entertainment, I think of like high energy. I think of the fire, the fireworks, the lights, the
Garth.
Like all the things.
Garth for those years was that guy jumping on the ropes, climbing the ladders,
like,
throwing off fireworks. Right.
That's kind of what I think of. But and I know there's so much more into how this category comes into play. But
absolutely. And again, when I look at this list, the only two that I see that were entertaining last year was Morgan Wallen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he saw that stadium after stadium after stadium with those famous walkouts of every football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lainey Wilson, she didn't nonstop. I mean, she was the same way. She was on that train track, just rolling forward, doing what she does best. And this is one of those things. So if I had to pick out of the two, those would be the two that I would say definitely deserve to be on that list for sure. Absolutely. And not that the others, again, aren't great artists.
Yes.
Love me some Jelly Roll.
Oh, 100%.
The man is like, he did a fantastic job last year getting to so many people and doing what he does best. But yeah, it's interesting. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see on May 17th.
Yes.
How it all unfolds. But, prior to that, we'll have to dig deep and we'll share our picks on an upcoming episode. And
I do like the Icon Award. I think we need to do like an Icon Award.
I feel like we have enough icons that we could have a solid category. And, then it gives a place for, Rascal Flatts and Brooks and Dunn and, the people that are still relevant and still doing stuff, but it's not necessarily like they're putting out new stuff.
Right.
And then maybe that might free up some areas for some of these other artists that really should
have a lane to get into.
Yeah, because like I said, we definitely missed some people here. I was trying to look back if there was a couple more.
I wonder if, and I've heard this for years too, is that...
Oh, Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
No Jordan Davis.
None.
What is going on?
And he won for Songwriter of the Year last year.
Yeah.
It's one of those moments where I also go, I think that they do this because they love being an entertainer or a performer.
Yeah.
They're not doing this for the awards. This is obviously our way of gifting them something that we think that they deserve by being that person that they are.
100%. I could not agree with you more. Like,
if they only came in this business just because I want that ACM or that CMA, they're not gonna,
Exactly. And I feel like, especially like when you saying it like that, like the Low Cashes and the Parmalee, they are definitely not in it for that, because if they would have quit
years ago,
how many award shows ago, you know what I mean? So they're not in it for that. They're in it because they truly love what they do. They love the fans. They love the genre.
Right.
But
another one that I see that was here that's not here, and I know he doesn't care about the awards whatsoever, is Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
Another following.
Yeah.
That you have got to be kidding me. So many people are so, he was here a couple years ago, sold out 2 nights at the Moda Center that fast.
And that was days before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It was like, I think he played, was it a Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday?
It was Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. Right before Thanksgiving week and selling out Moda Center.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah. So it's one of those things. I don't know. If there's anybody on this list that you feel got snubbed and you want to
we've shared our opinions.
Yeah,
so
we want to know
you.
yours. Reach out to us for sure.
Yes. Actually, you can email us. We have one big giant email, cmr@countrymusicrocks.net. That will go to both Danny and I.
Yep.
So yeah.
It's easy. And I'd like to know who you think should be on this list. Or is there anybody on this list that you don't like that shouldn't be here?
Yeah, share it all. Danny likes the tea. So.
I do. I like that. Oh, you should hear what this person said. Yeah. I like those rumors. You know me.
Share the tea with Danny.
And if you agree with me that Tucker Wetmore and Ella Langley should be together, then bring it on.
There you go. Yeah. Yes. We want to hear it.
Listen, please write us. Let us know your favorite artist, who you'd like to see win at the 61st Annual Academy of Country Music Awards live from Las Vegas. You can get down there. I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas just to go. Like CMA week is just to go and have a good time. It's a 2-hour flight. There's people everywhere. In fact, one of our really good friends, Mojo Roberts, is throwing a show with 95.5 The Bull down in Las Vegas. He's got an incredible lineup, and all that money goes to St. Jude.
Yes, which is amazing.
So if you want to get tickets to his show, just check out 95.5 The Bull in Las Vegas. Mojo will get you all set up with tickets for that. Yeah. They got the links to get those, and you can go meet some of your favorite artists. Riley Green's going to be at Top Golf. You could probably meet somebody there. Just get down there and have some fun.
There's so much to do. You don't even have to go to the awards.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go to the show.
No.
There's so many other things to do.
Yep.
And when you're walking around the casinos, you're definitely going to run into somebody because
especially after midnight.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's an area or Vegas is just an area artists actually want to go and have fun too.
Right.
You know, so they're wandering around, they're gambling, they're there to have a good time too.
Yeah.
So,
We've been there enough times. We've seen Chris Young gambling late at night, Brooks and Dunn dropping, a few $1,000s a hand.
Yeah,
so
everybody's there to have a good time. And
So book that vacation, head to Vegas, jump at the pool party. Dustin Lynch is going to be down there.
They're doing a big ACM beach bash.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
I think we're talking ourselves into this.
I think we are. I think we're manifesting and going to Vegas in a couple weeks.
Yes. Let's do it.
If you want to join us, let us know. And of course, thanks for always subscribing to watch us on YouTube and checking out all the socials, Amazon Prime. You can find all your Spotify, on iHeart, Spotify, Odyssey, all the platforms. Yeah. They're everywhere. But we just want to say thanks for joining us this week on the CMR Country Podcast.
Thanks.